those who keep on doing bad, they often get rewarded for their bad doings, and those who keep on doing good are often punished for doing good. That's what we see in today's world. So often people conclude that, okay, there is no point in doing good. There is no point in being just and moral. Why? Because there is clearly no advantage of doing being honest with somebody. If you can fool somebody and earn some profit, that's smartness. And if you'll be honest with somebody and charge only a certain amount of money, you'll be poor. You'll remain poor all your life. So it's better to be a smart person and be moral in that way, right? Why? Because we see the cause and the consequence. And what we see, this person cheated, he did some corruption, and immediately, boom, he got so much of reward. He earned so much of supernatural profits. He did. So the first impression is that there is no justice that is working in this world. You just have to be extra smart. You have to be a very what should we say? In very vicious ways, you'll have to be cheat. You'll have to cheat others, or you have to be a person who speaks lies very fluently, very confidently. How many people you can actually influence through your lies will determine how successful and how far you will go in your life. So that way, people often conclude that doing good is of no point. What they miss is that they're expecting that they do good now, and then and there they get the fruits of those good deeds. But that's not how this thing works. At the same time, there are only two things happening. One thing is the crime that we commit, and another thing is the agreement that we sign with the karma. The agreement will come to its effect on a later date. When the karma gets bonded, it does not directly begin to fruit. If I'm going to spend my vacations in some different country, so I traveled and I reached my hotel which I've booked, and the next thing that I'm going to do today is I'm not directly going to start sightseeing. First, I'll relax a bit because I've traveled a lot. I've traveled some distances, right? So first thing that happens when we reach somewhere is that there is some cooling down period. There is cooling period. In Jainism, we call it abadhakal. So the karma that gets bonded with the soul does not fruit instantly. So if I have done some crime right now, the result of that crime, the consequences of that crime, the papa bandha, it will show its results at a later date, not today itself. What we are seeing today is the result of the past, is the result of the karmas that we have earned in the past. So if I'm being very honest today, so often what people see is that, when people go to temple, they do puja, they offer dan, all sorts of good things, and suddenly they see that their business is growing, they are having good profits. So they think actually that, okay, the Lord is being kind to us. And, literally by doing puja, you get so much of money. So, and they also tell others that, okay, see, we have been doing puja and we have been earning so much. You should go to that Guruji, you should go to that temple, you should go and visit there. There is something that, while you go down that temple in front of that deity, you'll actually get something. So people become superstitious. But if we understand the science of it, what Jainism is saying that no, if I'm doing good today, that does not mean that I am going to reap the fruits of it by today itself. No. If I'm doing good today and something good is happening to me, it's not because of what I did today. That good is happening because of what I did yesterday. Else. Parshnath Muniraj was doing everything perfectly fine. He was a monk. He took Diksha. He was being kind to all jivas. And then suddenly somebody comes and starts doing upsarg on him. So that upsarg is the result of his good deeds. The upsarg is happening because he did something wrong while he was a monk. No. So if we instantly connect to what I did and what I got, then we are being fundamentally wrong. In that case, Parshnath Muniraj will become a criminal because something bad is happening to him. So that means he has done something wrong while he's a monk. But he did not do anything wrong. Then why wrong is happening to him? Because not what you do today, that results that actually you get to see today. No, the today is the fruit of your yesterday, sum total of past. So ashram is what we did today. Band is the agreement that we have signed today. But the consequences of this crime will not instantly come. They will come at a later date. So what I do today, I do not get the result for the same in today itself. If that happens, world would be a lovely place. If the cause and effect works instantly, if I lie and something bad happens to me, I'll stop lying. See, I touch the fire and it actually burns. Therefore, I never touch the fire because it gives me the result instantly. But if I become violent, if I eat, I hurt somebody, I kill some me jiva, and if I do not get hurt by by myself, it means the karmas are not working instantly. The cause and effect is not instant. And therefore, the world is in that confusion that whether karmas exist or not, whether our actions have any consequences or not. And that is the gray area where whole karma works. The function of karma, the function of mithyatva actually dances to this gap. This small gap between our consequences and crime. What I did today and what I'm getting today, because they both are not in tandem. I did bad today, but I got my lottery today itself. So I did something bad, but I got the lottery on the very same day. So doing bad does not bear any bad consequences. I'm getting good consequences for that. So I get confused that, okay, even if you do wrong, happens what happens. So you do not have to worry about the karmas because they clearly don't work. So my sight is very short-sighted. I'm taking a very short time span. But if I spread it, then I get to see what actually future has it in for me. So therefore, Ashraf is followed by Bandha, and Bandha will again give me at a later date some fruits, some results, some consequences. In those consequences, I'll again confuse myself, Jiva with Ajiva. I'll again attract Ashraf, again new agreement, at a later date, again some consequence. Again, I'm going to forget myself, and again I'll confuse the self with the non-self, and this will keep on repeating. So what should we do? What should we do? Because this is a very complex system now, right? Let's put it. We have already done it. You'll have to scroll down the whiteboard so that you can see it. Yeah. So we have a Jiva, and we have a Jiva. Jiva and Ajiva, when they both multiply, what comes is Ashraf. That happens is Ashraf, or we can call it influx or Ashraf, right? And how is it determined? It is called Raga, Dvesha, and Moha, right? Rag, Dvesh, and Moha. Correct? These are the, or we can call them Kashai, Leshya, Pap. All these are the same things. In short, we can call them Rag and Dvesh. If we have to detail them, Rag, Dvesh, and Moh. Or if we have to detail, we can call them Kashai, Leshya, Pap, passions, right? We call them Rag, Dvesh, and Moh, right? These are the influx. When do they happen? When Jiva, for its own happiness, looks up to a Jiva, and the trouble begins, right? The trouble begins when, can you see it? Can you see the whiteboard? No, you cannot. Uh, You'll have to scroll down maybe.
It's just, I think on our laptop, we're not able to scroll down for some reason, or we can't find the place.
Okay. What I'll do, I'll close the whiteboard. I'll open this whiteboard. This is visible, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
This is right. So what we are doing is we have Jiva. It goes and talks to Ajiva. The result is Ashraf. We call it influx. The karmas inflow happen. Right? That is the first equation. When Jiva for his own happiness forgets itself and manifests itself into some other thing, some other substance, Ajiva, right? For the example, my body. Why am I not happy today? Because I saw the mirror and I do not find myself looking good. I see my house and I do not like my house. I see my color, I do not like my color. I see my mark sheet, I do not like my marks. I see everybody and I'm jealous of them. So that's where the trouble starts. I do not see myself but others, and then I confuse this body with myself, and then I begin to have rag, dvesha, and moha. So ashrav is nothing but the emotions of rag, dvesha, and moha. Right? Adi, are you there today?
Yes.
Oh, your video is not on, so I did not even ask you guys anything. Yeah, so that's how the ashrav happened. Now, what is happening with ashrav? Ashrav is always followed by bandh. Okay, bandh is bondage. Means if you have done something, so what we'll call this rag and dvesh. We'll call this rag and dvesh as crimes. Okay, this is what the consequences of the crime, right? So this is the crime that we do. Because what we are clearly doing is things that are not in our authority, we're claiming authority on them. This body is not in my authority. I do not control this body. But I'm saying that I am Anubhav and I'm this tall and I'm Indian and I have this thing and this is my phone, this is my laptop, this is my house, this is my car. All sorts of things we do not own, but we are thinking that, okay, oh, I own these things. Correct? So this is what called crime, when this is actually stealing the things that do not belong to you. You claim your ownership on those things, right? So this crime is there. So what's the rule? The rule is where there is crime, that must be followed by what? Punishment, right? For every crime, there must be punishment. Yes or no? Yes, correct. So the punishment is what we call bondage. So this punishment is nothing but this bandha. So if we have this, we'll call it as bandha. Bandh is bondage, which is punishment, right? So because of this crime, the bondage happened. Okay. Now what the problem is? The time of the crime and the time of the punishment, that does not match, right? The gray area that we're talking about is that karma bandha happened instantly. The contract what happened instantly. But Adi, you did something wrong. Okay. Let's say by mistake, you were walking in the ground, you're riding your bicycle, and there was a small insect that came in under the tire of your bicycle. It died instantly. Crime happened, but there is nothing on that day that happened to you. You're going to the house of your friend and you played and you had a great time on that day. So see, instantly you did something wrong, but nothing wrong happened to you. Did it happen to you, Adi? Nothing wrong happened, because instantly it doesn't work. But the rule is, the moment the crime has happened, the contract of punishment, the punishment order has been executed. And it has the date and it has the time, and it also has the quantum of the punishment that you're going to serve, right? We call it through these 4 times. Okay, I think we'll have to remember these names. Okay, so there are 4 types of contracts that happens. Every time we commit rag, dvesh, or moha, there are 4 contracts that happens. The first is Prakriti. The second contract is Pradesh. The third contract is Sthiti. And the fourth stage is Anubhag. These are the 4 types of bandhas or the bondage. The bandh has 4 types. Okay, so bandh is of 4 types. What are those 4 types? There is Prakriti bandha, Pradesh bandha, Sthiti bandha, and Anubhag bandha. Simple. See, if you are being invited, like let's say we have a wedding in our house, okay? So now while we have a wedding in our house, we need to invite guests, right? So before sending out the invitations, what do we need to see? First is that we need to see that how many guests we are going to invite to this wedding, right? We want like 100, it's a closed ceremony, or we have to invite 500 people, or it's a gala Indian wedding, you have to invite 2,000, 3,000 people. So first you have to decide, right? So Pradesh is the quantum. How many karmas are going to come? That is being decided. So if I did a very mild rag, the crime is not that strong, less amount of karmas will come. So the amount of karmas that are going to come is the Pradesh, right? The Pradesh Bandha. But then again, in that Pradesh, in that invitation, so I decided that I'm going to call these many people. So I wrote, now again, in what happens in India, when we send out the invitation, we write people name and we also add one thing, with family. If we have written only one person's name and not with family, so that person alone is invited, not the family. Correct? So we also have to decide, okay, I want these many people, and from this family, only this person. Correct? So similarly, I am inviting these many karmas, but this of Jnana Varni karma, these many of Darshana Varni karma, these many of Ayu karma. Correct? So now I'm categorizing which type of karmas I'm inviting, because contract is happening. First part of the contract is that how many karmas are coming. Then what is the variety of those karmas? So Prakriti is the type, the variety of karmas that are going to come in. Pradesh is the quantity of the karmas that is going to come. Okay? And when these both are set, now we need to, so the guest usually send the invite, you have also told that who all are going to come in, and they have arrived. Okay? So they have arrived. Now there are 2 types of things that are going to happen. First, you will not dictate. You have given invitation to them that okay, you have to come on these dates. But on those dates, you cannot decide whether they're going to stay for an hour or for the entire day, or if you have ceremony spread over 2 days, they're going to stay for only 2 days. Their stay, you do not govern it. They are your guests. Now, since you have invited them, it's your liability. So now the duration is to be fixed. Similarly, the karmas are coming, and these many karmas are coming. But for how long? For how much duration? These karma will stay with me. The duration of their stay is called sthiti. So, we see that, okay, in my childhood, I used to have headache. So, every maybe twice a week, it used to happen. And for 3 years, it went on. And after 3rd year, it just disappeared. So for 3 years, I actually suffered from headache. People have migraine, people have diabetes, people have blood pressure problems, right? All these things, they stay for a while and then they leave. You have one disease that appears, like if I am not feeling well today for a week, maybe I'll be bedridden, and after 8th day, I'll be fine. For 7 days, that karma actually took charge and stayed. That is the duration for how long it is going to give its effect. So the consequences will have validity of how long. What is the term of those karmas? That is sthiti. And okay, so those all the guests have arrived and they have told you that they're going to stay for full day. But again, there are 2 types of guests. One, those who help you, and one, those who don't. And instead of not helping, they also play tantrums. You'll have to be super conscious about, their pleasures. They should not be, you do not have to make them unhappy, right? Because that way. So you know that, okay, this person might create some problem. I have to put two people at his service so that nothing goes wrong, right? So during their stay, how they're going to behave is not in your hands. So Anubhag is their actual fruition. So let's say for an example, I invited the karma in which I'm going to suffer from headache. So the karma came, headache is going to happen, and it is going to happen for 2 hours, right? But for 2 hours, in the beginning, it's a very mild headache, and gradually it increased. And mid time, after 1 hour, it reached to that level that I could not open my eyes. It was extreme. And then slowly it slowed down, and then it went away. So it stayed for 2 hours, but the fruition happened in fluctuation. It increased and then it went mild and again it increased. So that way, that graph of how it makes us suffer, that's called Anubhag. With what intensity that karmic fruition is going to hurt us is the Anubhag. So I might suffer a loss of, say, $1 today or £1 today, and I might suffer a loss of 1 million today, right? So in both the situations, I'm suffering a loss, but the loss, the £1 and £1 million, there is no comparison. So karma category is same. The same karma who has made me suffer £1 million will make me suffer for a £1. The karma is same. The quantity will vary, the duration for which I'm going to suffer this loss, and the impact, the intensity of it is the Anubhav. These are the 4 contracts that get signed the moment we commit rag and dvesh. And this sthiti decides when they are going to come into play, right? So that is always a later date. And that's why we all are living life as it is, as if nothing is going to happen, nothing gone is going to happen. We are always thinking that, okay, theek hai, ho gaya. We never even worry about the consequences. We never even think about the consequences of what might lie in the future. Why? Because it's a great sorcery by the karmas that they do not show us the picture of what I do today will look like in tomorrow, in my tomorrows. So there is a very famous quote about it. If the causes will their give effect instantly, world would be a much moral place than in there. Where we have instant punishment for the crimes that we commit, the law prevails in that country in a better way because citizens are aware of the consequences. As of now, what is happening is in this 3 world, we do not know any about the happening of any of the consequences. And because of it, we just go about our lives without worrying about the consequences. And when the consequences happen, we find it so hard to cope up with that, right? So this is the 4 type of bandha that is happening because of ashrava, which is influx. Fine. So far it's true, but I mean we have just, and this is the whole crux of Jainism. From here our next chapter is going to come out, that is 8 karmas from this bandha only, because what is bond, we are getting bonded with what. But first we need to understand how this whole story became. Jiva fell for Ajiva, Ashraf happened, with Ashraf came bondage, bondage had its 4 agreements, what sorts of karmas, how many of them, for how long they are going to stay, and with what intensity are they come into effect. That is the bondage. Now if I am really scared about it, that what do? I have committed so many crimes in my past. I have done so wrong in my past. How do I correct it? So see, I do not have control over my present. Why? Why I do not? If I took money from you last year, correct? And today I realize that, okay, it's not good thing to borrow money from somebody. So I resolve that from today, I'm not going to borrow anything. So do I have to pay you back something? No, I have resolved that I'm not going to take any loans from today. Do I have to pay you back? Why? See, I can, what is in my hand, I can decide that I'm not going to borrow from today. But I'm still responsible. I'm still liable to pay what I borrowed yesterday, right? So see, whatever is happening around us right now is nothing in our control because that has been already bought or borrowed yesterday. What best we can do is that I can resolve it from today. I'll not do anything. But that doesn't mean that you'll not come knock my door to ask for that money that I borrowed from you last year. Right? So the best that we can do with our present is that nothing is in this material world that we can change because that is all the consequences of our past karma. What I can do is I can resolve. I can resolve that, okay, I'm going to now put in stop to my all rag dvesha mode today. And that is in the language of Jainism is called samvar. Samvar does not change the present consequence. The samvar is not changing our external situation. That is going to happen. So Parsh Kumar Muniraj is doing samvar. His past is still in front of him. That Kamat is doing upsarg. So clearly the things are not going really well in his present. But what he is doing, he is determined. I'll have to pay what I have borrowed in my past. But today I'm not going to borrow a single penny. So today, even when the Kamat does upsarg on Parshnath Muniraj, the Parshnath Muniraj do not do rag or dvesh. He does not get angry. He does not feel anything for Kamat. He does not feel, okay, I should save myself. He is not worried about his body. So what he is doing right now is he has stopped doing rag, dvesh, and moh. So samvar is what? Samvar is stoppage. We stop doing rag, dvesh, and moh. What does it change? It changes nothing. It does not change our present, but it dramatically changes the future. Because what could have happened if we have reacted to that situation, that wrong is saved from happening now. Adi, are you getting it? What is happening? Is it making sense? Can you see the sequence of the seven karmas, how it is functioning? There is jiva, there is a jiva. The jiva looks up to a jiva. Ashrav happens. Ashrav with it brings bandha. And when I realize, okay, I do not have to worry about my present because the present is already manufactured in my past by my past actions. So I'm not going to worry about my present. But what I'm going to worry about is that how do I control my present thoughts? And when we control our present thoughts and do not do anger, do not feel proud, do not do cheating, do not become greedy, do not do rag, dvesh, moh, have no attachments, no expectations. There are like zero total expectations from the present world. There are no desires, no passions. In that case, this karma agreement stops for future. The transactions which we did yesterday are still live today. But today I did not sign any transaction. And when that happens, so the new influx has gone. There is nothing that is new upcoming, correct? There is nothing that is going to come today. But what will happen? All my agreements which I signed yesterday, they are reaching their validity. So they'll come to fruition and they will shed. So Nirjara is shedding. You're not owning anything, and whatever you had stored, it is reaching its validity, right? So automatically it is being wasted. So it's called that old karmas are being shed, new karmas are not coming in, and over the period of time, when this continues to happen, I'll reach to a stage where there will be not even a single karma that will be left in my soul, and that is what we call liberation. We'll be fully liberated. Why? Because the karma got stocked up. We had so many of karmas. Why? Because the jiva was expecting something from a jiva. So the karma came. By Ashraf, the bandha came, and this bandha actually brought all the karma. Right? What I did not talk to the stock of karmas that I already earned. But I said, okay, enough. I'm not going to give order for another lot of karmas. So I did some work. The new karmas stopped coming. The old contracts, they started reaching their validities. One by one, all the old karmas came and then they shed, and the shedding happened, the nirjara happened, and then came a moment where there was no new contract and all old contracts were gone, completed. So Atma, the soul, was free of all the karmas. And that very situation, that very stage of soul is called moksha. These are the seven tattvas that we have learned so far. Any questions, any doubts into this? Right? Anything? Are we clear? It's very simple, but this sequence, this way of thinking, we'll have to remember throughout our lives. This is the foundation of Jainism. There is one scripture you must have heard the name of, Shri Tattvarth Sutra. You heard the name of Tattvarth Sutra? The whole scripture is divided into 10 chapters. Those 10 chapters are only going to tell us this story. The 10 chapters only talk about tattvas, Tattvarth Sutra. So tattvas are this: Jiva, Ajiva, Ashrav, Bandh, Samvar, Nirjara, and Moksha. And this is the crux of it. So Jiva, when remains contented in itself, when Jiva remains Jiva, like our Arihantas, they have their hands on hands, eyes on their nose, and they are so calm, so serene, so subtle. When Jiva remains in that form, it does not commit any crime, the bondage does not happen, the new karmas don't come, the old do not remain, and then in that way you are truly liberated. That's how the liberation is attained. Understood? Okay. Quickly now in 5 minutes, what we'll see is very important topic about these seven tattvas. The mistakes that we commit about these seven tattvas. The mistakes related to seven tattvas. Sat tattva sambandhi bhool. The mistakes about seven tattvas that most people commit. Okay, fine. Let's see.
Can I just ask a quick question before
Yes,
we
please,
move on?
please.
You know, these 4 points that you've written about bandh, the different types of bandh. So these things, variety, quantity, duration, fruition, that's all related to the punishment that you're talking about, isn't it?
Yes, the duration of the punishment. So let's say if I have Ayu karma bonded with me, right? So I have this age because of that Ayu karma. So if I'm going to live for 60 years, so the validity of that Ayu karma is 60 years, but I actually got bonded with that Ayu karma when I was in my past age. So the remainder age of that karma also was there. So until and unless that age did not start, that time the Ayu karma is not giving me any of the fruits. Only after I die, leave that body and take new body, the Ayu karma will begin. Correct? So until unless the karma is not giving its fruition, that duration is called abadha kal. For the time period, the karma does not serve its purpose. It just remains tagged up in the soul. So that is called abadha kal, and then begins the time where the ayu is actually fruitioning. So the punishment time period. And when you add these two times, the cooling period when the karma did not give us any result, and the period where the karma gave its result. When you add these two, the whole sthiti comes. The total duration of that karma remained in soul. So for 10 years, the karma did not do anything. It just stayed with the soul. After 10th year, it started giving its fruits for next 80 years. So total duration is 90 years. That is the sthiti bondage. Fine. Quickly. So what now we are going to see is it's very, very interesting concept. The mistakes that we have about the seven tattvas, the misconceptions in seven tattvas, right? The misconception about Jivan Ajiv tattva is what? To believe that I am body is the misconception about Jiv tattva. And to believe that the body is me is the misconception about Ajiv tattva. Let's say I went to the market Okay, my mom told me to bring some oranges. Okay, Adi, my mom told me that, okay, go to the market and buy some oranges. I went to the market and I bought some oranges and I brought oranges back home. Okay, Adi, when my mom saw that packet in which I brought oranges, she screamed. She said, I asked you to bring oranges. Why did you bring lemons? I said, no, I brought oranges. She said, no, these are lemons. Right? Now you tell me, did I bring lemons to the house or did I bring oranges to the house? Adi, it's a very pretty straightforward question.
Both.
Sorry?
Both.
Sorry, I did not get it. What?
Both.
No. See, mom told me to bring oranges. So I went out to the market. I bought oranges and came back to the house. When mom opened that packet, she screamed. She said, why did you bring lemons? I asked you to bring oranges. And I'm telling her, no, I brought oranges only. So what have I brought home? Oranges or lemons?
Oranges?
Then why mom is saying that I have brought lemons?
Because she thinks they're lemons.
So mom does not know how oranges look and how lemons look. And I know much more than what my mom does.
No perspective, like you
What?
think it's oranges, she thinks it's lemons.
No, no, clear. If I go to the market, okay, yes. What's your name, beta? Tell me.
Sahani.
Sahari.
Suhani.
Suhani. Yeah, Suhani. Great. Yeah, tell me. What did I bring home?
Oranges. Just they think it's lemons because the orange is like a pale yellow.
No, actually, I'll tell you what happened, actually. So clearly, honestly speaking, I did not know how oranges look. So I went to the supermarket, I went to the section where lemons are put, and I bought the lemons and I took them home and told mom that, okay, I have brought oranges. So now I have a very simple question, Suhani. Do I know about lemons or do I know about oranges? Or do I not know about any of them?
You don't know about any of them.
Why? I brought lemons.
So you basically maybe passed the orange part, but you don't realize it was there. So you probably don't know what the
So
orange
I
was.
confused oranges for lemon and lemons for oranges. Means that I neither know about oranges nor know about lemons. Else I could have brought mangoes, no? But I knew that mango is mango. It's not orange. Correct? So if person confuses one thing with another, the conclusion is that person does not know about either of those two things. If I'm not sure how orange looks, but if I know how lemon looks, I will never buy lemons for oranges. Yes? Yeah, I might get it confused with something different, but I'll never confuse it with the things that I know about. Correct? Similarly, a jiva, a person, I myself, I went into my bedroom and I stood tall in front of that mirror. And I just said, oh, how beautiful and smart do I look, right? So what our Acharya says that, okay, this mad person does not know about Jiva and does not know about Ajiva. The person who is appearing in the mirror is not me, it's this body. And the person which I am, I cannot see it. I do not understand what soul is. So a person who thinks body is me does not know about the body and does not know about the soul. He confuses lemons for oranges and oranges for lemons. Did you understand, Adi, what did I just say? Right? So a person cannot commit the mistake with one tattva. If he commits mistake with one tattva, he commits mistakes with all tattvas. That is the rule. So if I say body is soul, then it is the mistake with regard to body as well as soul. If I say lemon is orange, it is the mistake about lemon as well as orange. I do not know about lemon. I do not know about orange. Understood? So if I say, oh, so honey, when is your birthday?
15th of March.
15th of March. Oh, great. Mine is on 26th of March. Okay. But I wanted to know, is soul eternal or does it take birth? Adi, what do you say?
It's eternal, just your body. You get a different
Yeah, so
in
so
a different
if
body.
Suhani has taken birth on 15th of April, 15th of March, it's the birthday of her body or her soul.
Her body.
Yeah, and who is Suhani? Suhani, you are a soul or a body?
Soul.
You're a soul. So 15th of March is your birthday or your body's birthday?
Body's birthday?
So I asked your birthday.
I don't have a birthday then.
Yeah. So when we confuse the body's birthday with our birthday, that is the misconception with relation to Jeev and Ajeev Tattva. We think, okay, if Sohan, you are a boy or a girl?
None of them.
Oh, brilliant. Now
soul.
you're getting it. Yeah, your soul. The soul is not a boy, it's not a girl. It's not tall, it's not black, it's not white, it's not a student, it's not teacher, right? The soul is soul, right? It's a pure soul. But when we confuse that, okay, I'm not smart, uh, I need toys, I'm not feeling good today, I'm having headache, all these things which are actually related to body, which are actually related to this mundane life. When we confuse those things happening to me, that okay, I am not looking good today. I am very tired today. I am looking so smart. Oh, this dress completely fits so well in my body. When we think in that way, it becomes Jeev and Ajeev Tattva misconception. We confuse what is not ours as ours. Understood? That is the misconception. When that happens, what happens if somebody teases me that, okay, Anubhav, you're so lazy, you do not dance well, you do not move well, you cannot play this, you cannot sing this. I feel bad automatically. If somebody teases you, Adi, do you like it?
No.
You don't like it, right? Instantly, we don't like it. Why do we not like it? So, what if we take that tease and we just, operate upon it, and then we say, okay, he's telling that I'm tall. So, am I tall or this body is tall? This body is. Then it's not my business what he's talking about this body. If he's talking about me, then I'll bother. So that way, when we make our soul first and body on a second stage, the life becomes easier. The rag, dvesh, and moh, they begin to diminish. Understood? So when we actually believe ourselves to be soul, then we remove this misconception and then we come to the right path. Fine. Now, what is the misconception about Ashraf Tattva? About the influx? So the misconception about Ashraf Tattva is that, we often believe that, okay, with efforts, with our rag, with our attachments, we'll be happy. We'll be very happy. But it is not the way that it seems. The more we get attached to a particular thing, there are more chances of our landing in pain. So ashraf is related to attachment. So when I feel that, okay, this is my favorite toy, I cannot live without this toy. And I'll do everything to keep this toy with me. So when I do like this and when I attach myself emotionally to this toy, then I land in more. I think that being with this toy will give me happiness, but actually I create more ways to be unhappy. Now, see, earlier people used to, it was very, 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 very difficult for parents to make me unhappy. It was when I did not have this toy, no, they did not have any way to make me unhappy. But now, whenever I do not listen to my parents, what they do, they say, okay, if you will not listen to us, we'll take it away from you. They now blackmail me, right? Why? Because they know that I have attached my rag to this toy. And if this toy is snatched away from me, I'll not feel good. So that's what Ashra Tattva Sambandhi Bhul is. Yes, Suhani, tell me.
When it means by Ashra, does it mean that I'm not supposed to be attached to Bashra as well?
Sorry, I did not understand your question. What?
When it means when you say Ashra, does it mean I'm not supposed to be attached to Bashra as well?
Yes, yes. We are bundle of knowledge. Okay, so honey, it's our work to know. So it's not about Pathshala, about school, about anything. We cannot stop ourselves from knowing constantly. So knowing is not attachment. What we know, does that knowledge help us in being happy or it makes us sad? That is where the raga comes up. So attachment is different and knowledge is different. So yes, you cannot be attached to Pathshala, but not for the bad reasons that, okay, I am not attached to it, therefore I do not want to go to Pathshala or something, right? It says like whenever we actually associate ourselves with something, we actually create more ways to be unhappy. So yes, you do not have to be attached to everybody, but first you'll have to understand that you are soul. We all are soul, we are not bodies. And then only the second thing comes, which is ashra. In the next class, we'll again see the misconceptions. We have only done misconception about Jiva, Jiva and Ashraf so far. We'll do those misconceptions in short, and then we'll directly come to this last chapter that we have to finish is karma of this semester that we have had. Okay? Okay, Swani, think over it. If you have still any questions, you can connect with me.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, we'll quickly do Jimani's. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ वंदना शत बार उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ वंदना शत बार 9 times नमोकार मंत्र जैन धर्म जय जय जिनेन्द्र
Jai Shanandra.
Mantra.
Jai Shanandra.
जय जिनेन्द्र